couple of days. As you can see by the very long um, video title, all those numbers in a row are all the numbers of the 100 days of morning writing that this is making up for, in addition to being today, which is day 62. So we're making up for 4 days here: 59, 60, 61, and 62, because I had work. I had work all those days. Yeah. um, okay. So, well, I've had to work the last 3 days. Anywho, so I'm your live stream writing accountability partner, Roaster Music. I'm here most mornings, I like to think, or I have been here most mornings. It was every day. It was working out what's going on with still trying to work out my new job schedule. Here, when I am here, from about 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for 2 hours of live stream writing accountability, followed by our half-hour Max to Share What You Did wrap-up chat. So the way the stream works, in case you're new or in case you've forgotten, because it's been so long, you can keep the stream open in a separate window, separate tab, as background noise, as though we were in a digital shared workspace, and just be in the workspace. And during those 2 hours, if you are doing the ride along, then you are encouraged to pop into the chat, not to chat live, but instead to use the chat as a running log of what it is that you're working on and what it is that you're getting done, right? So you see me here on the screen right now, and you're going to see me in a smaller video down in this corner here. To see my butt in the chair, that's half of my accountability. The other half is that I'm going to be screen sharing. And so you're going to see my running list as I'm making it. But as you can see with me sharing the windows here, I'm working in a tabbed window. I'm not going to be able to see the live chat while the writing is happening, and that is by design. I have OCD, and my OCD is such that if I can see the chat, I'm not getting writing or any other work done. So rather than have the chat open, I have it in these separate tabs. So it is open, it is collecting, particularly important for the Twitch stream. But yeah, I have the chats open in separate tabs, and that's why we have the wrap-up chat. So whether you're writing along or watching along, in addition to using the chat as a running log of the things that you're working on, you can use it as a log of comments and questions that you have regarding your creative projects, my creative projects, and the creative process in general. And then during the wrap-up chat, I'll do a run through of my log of what all I got done, because I'm going to be keeping track of that using a Google spreadsheet. And then I'll pop into the chats and respond to every comment and every question, and also look to see what it is you logged in terms of accountability, so that we can be accountable to each other, because that's how accountability partnership works, which is what this video is for, to help make sure that we all get some writing done. And this is the first time that I've been able to schedule morning writing in the last few days. It feels like so long. But hopefully I'll get, and I've said this a couple of times, hopefully I'll get my set work schedule soon, so that we can have a new set morning writing schedule. The fact that I haven't yet, I'm, as a former nanny, choosing to chalk it up to my employer and his business partner wife being parents. And that's always going to throw a wrench in the works, folks. If you've ever wondered what it's like to have children, it's like having a wrench perpetually thrown in the works. And I'm saying that as a former nanny. I spent 15 years nannying, babysitting, generally providing in-home childcare, so oh, that's starting to go down the wrong pipe. That's what I get for taking such a large gulp of water in one go. But yeah, that's basically what parenting is. It's just A wrench continuously thrown in the works. A really wonderful wrench that you would not want to live without. And if anybody tried to take it from you, you would probably murder them. But a wrench, nonetheless. So, let's get on with our morning writing. It's 11 a.m. and I'm doing math instead of writing because that's where my head is at. I really, really just want to be crunching work numbers to schedule numbers so that I can know when I can get writing done, and instead I'm crunching fitness numbers, like just getting a singular equation squared away for my own personal uses. I should be writing a journaling prompt. Instead I'm doing this. It's because of things like this that I have, as you can see. What? No, that's not how I want to interact. Jesus, I thought I had that squared away. Anywho, so as you can see here, it says 6 scheduled posts, which means I have posts for the next 24 days squared away in the Facebook group. For instances like these, when I'm doing math instead of writing. That's just where my head's at, you know? I'm just gonna put that over there, and I'm just gonna, let's just do the wrap-up chat. Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright, so, wrap-up chat, in case you're new, works like this. I'm going to give a brief summary of what all I got done, with a little bit of the how, a little bit of the why, including a little bit of the how and the why of things not going according to plan in the morning writing. That is information I also share. If you were writing along during these, well, it was supposed to be 2 hours, but it ended up being about, what, an hour and 45 minutes? Because I got a late start this morning. Then if you haven't already been logging what it is that you were working on and what it was you were getting done as you were getting it done into the chat on YouTube or Twitch, wherever you happen to be viewing this, now is a good time to go ahead and do that. And also, whether you were writing along or just watching along, if you have any comments or questions about your creative projects, my creative projects, and the creative process in general, now's a good time to log those into the chat as well, so we can get started on having a nice little convo. And another fun fact for anybody else who is new, this section over here is where I keep a log of topics discussed that I plan on using to create a podcast that will act as a sort of resource center for topics on mental health, creativity, intersections of what it is we're doing and how it is we're doing those things. So let's go ahead into the brief chat. Feel free to pop the brief summary, go ahead and be popping things into the chat, logging things into the chat now. All right, so today I wrote my daily blog post, and that was in response to a text. Well, it was an expansion of a text convo that I had with my sister. We were just, going back and forth like you do with siblings, and she made some comments that I was not aware that she viewed me as hating school. I just wanted to be done with school because it was just, I wanted to move on with my life. And I still didn't know that I had OCD at the time that I got my bachelor's, and it felt like the finish line was constantly being moved further and further away from me because various reasons, and I just had like one of those hysterical laughing, crying, panic attack fits my last semester of school. I was like, I'm done. Because I don't like it when people change the rules on you right when you're about to win. Which is something my sister has actually herself done with numerous games that we've played. She knows what I mean. she doesn't watch this, but if she was and she heard me say that, she would know exactly what I was talking about. So, I kind of took the two statements in particular, the question and statement in particular, that I didn't realize she did not have the proper answers to those. And I had responded to them longer than you should, in a longer form than you should when writing something via text. I did respond in that way, like I do when we had the text convo, and I actually expanded on it more in the blog post, except for that first blurb, which also doubles as a link to an older blog post. Because I had the older blog post, that initial phrase is pretty much verbatim part of the longer text that I had sent her, and then the next two sections, or three sections, I don't know how many sections that blog post ended up having. It was three. It was three. Yes. Yes. So the next two sections, I expanded on more what I couldn't cover in text because, numbered lists and bullet points and all that. So if you're interested in why I'm considering grad school, don't I hate school, and doesn't it cost a lot, all three of those things are covered in today's blog post if you're interested. That's better-storytelling.com if you're interested. Then I queued up buffer postings. Usually, when I was doing my morning writing every day, I was just having to queue up one buffer posting, but I missed my morning writing the last couple of days because I had work. What I should do is just some of those administrative things that I do at the very start of my morning writing each day, such as putting up buffer postings and rotating journaling prompts. Basically, and maybe even the blog post to help get me back in the habit of writing very short blog posts. If I could just do those three things on my own time, even if the morning writing live stream doesn't happen, it'll help keep the gears greased, to keep things to keep my brain ready to go on the days that I do have time for morning writing. That's basically what I need to do. I need to get these three items that I've highlighted here: my daily blog post, my queuing up buffer postings, and my rotate journaling prompts. I need to just keep those as part of my morning routine, even if I don't have morning writing time, because I do have more time for my morning routines before going to work on the days that work actually conflicts with morning writing. But yeah, I should be able to figure that out. I should be able to figure out how to or at the very least get a start on the daily blog post. Maybe have the daily blog post come after those two more administrative tasks, like swap around. So queuing up the next buffer posting goes first. I had it after the blog post because of just linking around with better-storytelling.com. I could swap around rotating the journaling prompts and the daily blog post. Let's do that now, Rose. In order to in order to facilitate the crossover between linking to the Better Storytelling site and actually posting to the Better Storytelling site. So just reversing that workflow rather than disrupting it by shifting something up and dropping that to the bottom. Yeah, that works. That works. Okay. So today I ended up queuing 4 buffer posts rather than just one, because I hadn't done it the last couple of days. But now I think I have at least worked out these 3 items, the order that they happen, so that after I do the rest of my standard morning routine, even if I don't have time to log on for morning writing, I can still jump on, do these 3 administrative tasks. This was really the only one that's administrative. These 2 require actual writing. There's slight writing there. But just to help just keep that muscle memory going, just making that part of more my morning routine. Just kind of as the crossover task between morning routine and morning writing. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'll do from now on. But my brain is still distracted trying to plan ahead. I have packages arriving tomorrow and the day after for some update type things, just that I ordered, knowing that I have a new have an income, um, but I don't have my work schedule yet. So planning things like the grocery run that I really want to do tomorrow, so that I can get in the habit of doing that weekly, and also even being able to reschedule when the weekly grocery run happens in case they want me working on Mondays instead of whatever days. Yeah, just gotta get I just really want to crunch those numbers so badly, and I ended up spending the rest of the time crunching numbers about body fat because I um, reinstituted a morning workout using my kettlebells as part of my morning routine a in late May. I re-added that to my morning schedule. So I started that on, was it May 26th or was it before? No, it was April. It was the end of April. April 26th was when I started that. And then I lost track of it. And then I got back on track a month later. April was a finicky month, and it made the beginning of May, or most of the first 3 weeks of May, finicky. Jesus, no. Okay. Criminy. Right. I started from scratch again on May 26th, and now I have just... Anywho, you don't need all those details at the moment. Maybe... I'm going to put that as a topic, though, for possible podcast. Exercise for boost to creative thinking. Lots of brainstorming happens. Lots of clarifying of thoughts happens when your body is physically engaged with something else, and so there's no pressure on creative output. So then you have all these ideas when you're exercising, when you're running, when you're on the toilet, when you're in the shower, when you're doing dishes, like all these, when you're physically engaged, it allows your brain a little more freedom to think things through, which is great. Unfortunately, because of the way my brain thinks things through, I end up stopping and ranting in the middle of my exercise, so that my exercise ends up taking longer than it needs to, which is why I actually try to listen to podcasts when I'm exercising. But again, not talking about that right now. I'm just still distracted by wanting to crunch numbers and not having the numbers that I want to crunch available to crunch. Even with the equation that I'm like working on to build my own database calculator for like tracking my body weight and not my body weight, my body fat, in order to make sure that it's within healthy limits, which using an online calculator and guessing what my weight is because I don't have a scale, I'm in an acceptable range, and at the low end of acceptable, almost fit, which is nice. But I don't have a scale. Like I said, I have to guess what my weight is, which means that the numbers are inaccurate. So that's another little thing I'm gonna have to save up for now, is a scale, so that I can make sure that like I'll get the database squared away for the tracking of the numbers that I want to track in order to like assess bodily health, because just taking measurements of my body is just surface details. I want to know what's going on under the skin. Anywho. Yeah, so that's what I worked on, was mostly math. Should have been working on writing. Did get some writing done, but mostly I ended up working on that equation, and it's not quite done yet. But I'll get it. Now it's time for me to respond to all comments and questions on YouTube, see where you are in terms of your accountability log in the chat, and also any comments or questions you have regarding your creative projects, my creative projects, or the creative process in general. On YouTube, we have nothing in the chat. I'm going to hit refresh real quick just to make sure the video didn't happen to split at any time during the live stream, because that is a little bit of a risk. Nope, did not split. Fantastic. Here on Twitch, Joe89 says, "Hey Rose, would you play music on stream? I'd love to hear your music." Okay. The reason I don't play music on the stream is because, one, if it had lyrics in it, then I'd be thinking about the words coming into my head rather than the words I'm trying to put out on the page. So that's why I don't listen to music, number one. And number two, I haven't created a body of just music for the sake of music or background noises or things like that. If I ever do qualify as an affiliate on Twitch, I don't want to run into the there is a copyright issue with making sure that I have permission to have that music playing in full, in background, even if I'm talking over it at any point. Like, I could share my own original music, but again, it's music with words, and then I'm spending all of my time singing along, basically, because that's what I do when I hear lyrics that I am familiar with, is that I sing along. And if I'm singing along with the lyrics, I can't write new lyrics to any new songs. So basically, you're going to get music on the stream on the days that I happen to be writing songs. You're not going to get it during the standard writing time, because during the standard writing time, it serves as a distraction. The noise that I have, the sounds I have in the background from downtown Providence, that is, the sort of blank, static noise that just helps, that I can't really make out with anybody saying unless they get into a super loud argument, and then that's gone in a couple of minutes. For copyright purposes specifically, listening to music as I stream and making that music available for you to hear as well is not actually going to be happening. But you are, of course, encouraged to have your own music playing. And that's another really important thing too, is because during live streams, you might not, even if I did play music that I want to listen to while I'm streaming, it might not be music that you want to listen to. And because everybody has their own preferred music that they want to listen to when they're working, and you are 100% encouraged to do that. Listen to music. I actually have a binaural waves app on my phone that I sometimes listen to help me focus when I'm having trouble. That's what I should really do on the days between work shifts when morning writing happens. I should use my binaural wave app again. Problem Bear says, "I actually can't even focus with music." Well, there you go then. Another perfectly good reason for me not to be sharing any music in the live stream beyond the stuff that I end up writing on the live stream, because some people can't work with music. Some people need it, or they need a particular kind of music for a particular project. I might actually put earbuds in and listen to a very particular song again and again and again in order to get a particular project written, because it has the right emotional emphasis, to carry me through the writing of it without me getting too exhausted. So, yeah, I mean, everybody has their different opinions and their different reactions to listening to music. And of course, again, with this stream, if I ever go to monetize this stream in any way, I don't want to be infringing on anybody else's copyright. I'm trying to be a good neighbor in the creative space available to me online, and part of that is respecting other people's work, just as I hope that they will be respectful of my own work. So it does not look like there's anything else going on in the chats. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap today's wrap up chat. Thank you very much for joining me today. I'm Roaster Music, your live stream writing accountability partner, and I promise I will make a set schedule sometime soon in the future in order to tell you exactly what days that I am here in the mornings from 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for 2 hours of live stream writing accountability, followed by a half-hour Maxish Share What You Did wrap up chat. And I really encourage you to come back. Also, that pun you made about your music, that you want to hear your music, I appreciate that pun very much. Fun story, a friend of mine actually approached me in a restaurant, and they came up to me, it's like, hey, I heard your music on the radio. But, like, making that pun. However, my younger sister is actually a musician, Grace Jermusic, and her songs as part of the band, which is no longer around, but she continues to make music. But her band, when she used to live in Tennessee, the Acorn People, got some songs on an XM radio station, or an XM radio station decided that they wanted to play her songs, is what happened. They found her and they're like, oh, and that had happened within a couple of days before. My friend approached me in this restaurant, came up behind me and said, I heard your music on the radio. So I thought he was talking about that. And I thought, oh, you heard Gracie? You heard my sister? You heard her on the radio? And we were both very confused for a second. And then we realized that they were making a pun. And they hadn't actually heard Grace on the radio. They had heard music in general on the radio. Like, they were making funnies. And it's a good funny. It's a really good pun. I'm really glad that my name is naturally that pun. But anywho, I do encourage you, whether you're making funny puns or making comments about your creative work, my creative work, or the creative process in general, I strongly encourage you to log those things into the chat in future morning writings, because the more we can talk about what it is we're working on and how it is we're working on it, the more we can iterate it and improve the stories we tell, whether it's the stories we tell ourselves, the stories we're telling each other, or the stories we're telling together as a collective, community, family, society, friends. And also the more fun we can have, especially when we're getting punny with it. And hopefully, little by little, one pun at a time, one day at a time, build a better world through better storytelling. That's always my hope. So thank you very much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Good journey, my friends.